Does it give you some sense, not of joy, but of relief at least, that he's potentially facing some consequences? Because as you've said before, this guy's a con artist and he's gotten away with it for years.
I'm tired of calling him names. He just can't be anywhere near the office of the presidency. It's funny, I was just thinking that he actually became president. He could have done good things. Instead, he had to do it all wrong.
You're not clever, you're just loud and rich. Those words hit Elon Musk like a truck when Robert De Niro went off script during a recent TV appearance, and the billionaire's face said it all. What started as a regular interview turned into an explosive takedown when De Niro compared Twitter to Musk's deleted porn folder and told him to start shelling out money instead of playing political games. The audience was stunned silent before bursting into applause. And Musk's reaction? Well, that's exactly what we're about to show you. Hey, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button. We know you want to. Go ahead, we'll wait. Alright, appreciate it. Now, back to the video. Ever wonder what happens when a billionaire treats a social media platform like his personal playground? Robert De Niro certainly has some thoughts about that. The legendary actor didn't just dip his toe into criticizing Elon Musk. He dove in head first with both fists swinging. Let's start with the $44 billion elephant in the room. Musk dropped that astronomical sum to buy Twitter, only to rename it to what De Niro brutally described as a deleted porn folder. Yes, the Oscar-winning actor actually called X what sounds like something you'd name a folder where you hide your weird porn. The audience erupted in laughter, but De Niro's expression remained dead serious. Remember Twitter before the Musk takeover? It had its problems for sure, but verification actually meant something. Blue checks were given to notable figures after a verification process that confirmed their identity. Content moderation teams, while imperfect, at least tried to keep the worst stuff off the platform. Then Musk swooped in like a tech superhero, promising free speech, and everything went downhill faster than Trump's approval ratings.
You've played a lot of bad guys. Would you ever play Donald Trump?
Never. There's nothing about him, there's not one redeeming thing in him that I can see, ever. He's so, as we all know, so narcissistic and self-centered. I don't think they really understand. And historically, from what I see, even in Nazi Germany, they had it with Hitler.
De Niro didn't mince words about the mass layoffs that followed. He cut the spine, organs, and soul out of Twitter. The actor growled during his speech. Thousands of content moderators, engineers, and staff who built something valuable, all fired so one man could feel powerful. The audience shifted uncomfortably as De Niro's intensity grew, his trademark scowl deepening with each word. The verification system transformation particularly triggered De Niro's contempt. He made verification an $8 subscription service. That's democracy with a price tag, De Niro said, his voice dripping with disdain. Suddenly any nutjob could buy a blue check and pretend to be CNN. It's like selling fake police badges at a gift shop and being surprised when people use them to direct traffic. While the platform descended into chaos, Musk himself seemed to be having the time of his life. De Niro pointed out how the billionaire spent his days posting memes and sharing conspiracy theories, while advertisers fled like rats off a sinking ship. Major brands pulled billions in advertising dollars, unwilling to have their products appear next to increasingly extreme content. He bought a Ferrari and immediately removed the brakes, De Niro quipped, then acted surprised when it crashed. What made De Niro's critique particularly striking was how he framed Twitter's downfall as symbolic of billionaire arrogance. He didn't improve it, he didn't elevate it, he massacred it, De Niro declared, pounding his fist on the podium. And why? Because he could. Because when you have that much money, you start believing your own myth. You think everything you touch turns to gold, when sometimes you're just breaking things that other people built. The tension in the room was building as De Niro prepared to deliver his most cutting assessment of Musk's leadership style. The actor paused, taking a sip of water, letting the anticipation build. The audience leaned forward, sensing something big was coming. Elon Musk isn't a genius, De Niro finally stated, his voice suddenly quiet but clear. He's not clever, just loud and rich. Being wealthy doesn't make you smart, it just gives you a bigger megaphone to broadcast your ignorance. The audience literally gasped. Even for De Niro, known for his bluntness, this was unexpected territory. Calling out the world's richest man in such explicit terms wasn't just bold, it was potentially career-risking. But De Niro, at 81 years old, clearly didn't care. His eyes narrowed as he continued, "When Musk tweets something stupid, millions see it. When he breaks something, millions suffer. That's not power, that's just having money without wisdom. It's a toddler with a sledgehammer." That sledgehammer-wielding toddler, Musk has found another playmate, and De Niro isn't shy about calling out this bizarre billionaire politician romance. The relationship between the world's richest man and the former president reads like a teenage drama script, complete with dramatic breakups and public makeups that leave everyone wondering what's really going on. De Niro didn't mince words about this strange pairing, describing Musk and Trump's connection as a toxic situationship. And honestly, that's the perfect way to sum up this on-again, off-again relationship that keeps us all scratching our heads. Remember when Musk sat proudly on Trump's advisory councils? That honeymoon phase didn't last long. When Trump pulled America out of the Paris Climate Agreement, Musk dramatically stomped away from the table, making a big show of his principles. But principles seem flexible when you're worth hundreds of billions, don't they? The actor took particular delight in mocking their social media love fest, describing their online exchanges as two malfunctioning AIs trying to complement each other. Anyone who's seen their X interactions knows exactly what De Niro meant. These two ego monsters take turns praising each other in ways that sound like they were generated by a broken chatbot. And speaking of Twitter, De Niro wasn't finished roasting Musk's approach to handling Trump's banned account.
We've heard you talk about the former president. You have called him a fraud, a con artist. You've said he's a New Yorker like you, and you have watched this brand of BS.
I think of how absurd it is. And this might be the one case where that could be it for him. It's a state case. He's sick. He is really, genuinely a sick person that somehow has been allowed into our system.
After spending all that money on the platform, Musk's big Democratic solution was a Twitter poll? De Niro scoffed at this playground approach to serious platform moderation. Let's ask the internet if we should let the guy who inspired an insurrection back online. It isn't exactly the height of responsible leadership, but for all his talk about being a free speech warrior, Musk seems to have a funny definition of the concept according to De Niro. The actor blasted Musk for claiming to champion free expression while actually destroying free speech through his erratic management. It's like claiming you're saving a forest by cutting down all the trees and replacing them with plastic plants. De Niro drew direct parallels between these two mega-rich men, noting that Musk is basically copying Trump's playbook, the edgelord tweets, the war on media, and other tactics straight from the Trump manual of attention-seeking. It's like watching a tech billionaire cosplay as a politician, complete with outrageous statements designed to generate maximum outrage and minimum substance. As De Niro continued his takedown, you could feel the temperature in the room rising. The audience leaned forward as the legendary actor built toward his most devastating critique of this unholy alliance. De Niro's eyes burned with conviction as he delivered what might be the most precise assessment of the Musk-Trump relationship ever articulated. They're two men who see democracy not as a system, but as a branding opportunity, De Niro declared, his voice carrying the weight of someone who's seen enough nonsense for one lifetime. The room fell silent as people processed this brutal truth. It wasn't just about their politics or personalities anymore. It was about their fundamental approach to power. They don't value democratic institutions. They see them as marketing vehicles for their personal brands. For these two, engagement matters more than enlightenment. Followers trump facts, and the actual functioning of democratic systems takes a distant back seat to how those systems can be leveraged for personal gain. Forget politics for a moment. De Niro's most devastating critique wasn't about democracy at all, but about basic human decency. When he stated that 40 billion could end world hunger by 2030, you could hear a pin drop in that room. This wasn't just some random number he pulled out of thin air. Experts have actually calculated this figure as the amount needed to solve one of humanity's oldest problems. Meanwhile, what are our space racing billionaires doing with their mountains of cash? Certainly not ending hunger, that's for sure. Let's put this in perspective. The combined wealth of just America's top 5 billionaires could potentially solve world hunger multiple times over, yet instead of tackling existential problems, they're busy building rocket ships, buying social media companies, and funding political campaigns that protect their interests. De Niro didn't mince words when he called out this grotesque prioritization. Do they think that they're going to live forever? De Niro asked the audience, his voice cutting through the typical Hollywood niceties. It's the question nobody seems brave enough to ask these billionaires to their faces. Musk can launch all the rockets he wants, but he's still gonna die someday, just like the rest of us. The difference is that while he's playing Space Explorer, De Niro reminded us that real children are dying from preventable causes every single day. The stark contrast De Niro painted between these tech bros' passion projects and the harsh realities of global suffering didn't just make people uncomfortable, it made them question the entire billionaire system. While kids are literally starving to death, Musk was busy posting memes. While families can't afford medicine, these uber-wealthy dudes are racing each other to Mars. It's like watching someone polish their gold toilet while their neighbor's house is on fire. De Niro's criticism went beyond just saying rich people should give more. He specifically called out how these billionaires use their massive fortunes to manipulate politics and public opinion rather than addressing urgent humanitarian crises. It's not just that they aren't helping, they're actively making things worse by funding systems that keep them wealthy while keeping others poor. Start shelling their money out, De Niro urged, challenging tech billionaires to stop hoarding wealth and start addressing the world's most pressing problems. The simplicity of his demand cut through the usual complex debates about taxation and philanthropy. It wasn't about policy details, it was about moral responsibility. These guys have more money than they could spend in multiple lifetimes, yet children are dying of hunger. How is this acceptable to anyone? The comparison between Twitter's chaos under its new owner and these global humanitarian issues was particularly brutal. Sure, watching verification badges disappear might annoy some journalists, but children are literally dying from preventable causes while billionaires play digital dictator. De Niro made it crystal clear which crisis actually matters. As De Niro's speech built towards its climax, the audience seemed to lean forward collectively. The Hollywood veteran wasn't just criticizing individual billionaires, he was questioning the very culture that allows them to exist in the first place. Why do we celebrate people who hoard wealth beyond any reasonable need? Why do we treat them like geniuses when their main talent seems to be making themselves richer? Then came the knockout punch, De Niro's most profound statement about wealth and its limitations. Musk's wealth means nothing when nobody in the room wants to talk to you. In that single sentence, he exposed the hollow core at the center of excessive wealth. All the money in the world can't buy genuine human connection, respect, or love. A billionaire surrounded by yes men and sycophants might have everything except the one thing that actually matters: authentic relationships. The fallout from De Niro's epic takedown has been as divided as our country. While some folks clutched their pearls at his bluntness, many others were cheering from their couches, finally seeing someone with fame and influence call out what they've been feeling for years. De Niro's speech wasn't just some random celebrity rant. It tapped into a growing frustration many Americans feel about billionaires buying up influence, while regular people struggle to make rent. What makes De Niro's confrontation so powerful is that he's been walking this talk for decades. The man's been calling out power imbalances long before it was trendy to do so. When he stood there demanding accountability, he wasn't just reading lines, he was continuing his real-life role as someone who gives a damn about more than just his bank account. In a world where the ultra-wealthy can literally buy themselves out of almost any consequence, De Niro reminded us that some things, like basic decency and actual respect, still can't be purchased no matter how many zeros are in your bank account.